Welcome to the Plead the Fifth podcast, recorded in the Bullhucker studio.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the podcast. Good to see you. Unless it's your first time, well then, welcome aboard, man. I hope you like what you see. Check out some past episodes. Stick around for some future ones. Glad to have you here. We're recording this at the Bullhucker studio in the bowels of the Brush Emporium, 210 Clayton Street here in Brush, Colorado. In this episode, we have a married couple. Adriana and Rico come on and answer 12 questions apiece about everything from death row meals to awkward conversations with parents to conspiracy theories and everything in between. If you like what you see, on the bottom right-hand corner of the screen, there's a little red dot. That's our subscribe button. Go ahead and click that. It's a small click for you, but it's a huge click for us. Now, it's time for the podcast. All right, guys, each of you take a die and roll those bad boys. I'll see where we're going to start on this.
Oh, okay.
We don't start from episode to question one, so... Oh, 3. That's pretty good. All right, guys. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Who rolled the big one? Adriana. All right. Okay. You're going first then.
Okay.
You digs?
That works.
Adriana, what is a talent that you wish came naturally to you?
Singing.
That's a big one on here.
Singing. I think I sound good, but then I hear myself and I don't sound as good as I think I do.
You never know, dude. You never know. You know? What kind of singing? Opera? You like pop?
Oh, God.
Thrash metal? Adriana?
Oh, God.
What do you get down on?
Can you see me doing the thrash metal thing?
Yes, absolutely.
You know, headbanging and everything?
Yeah.
No, I don't know. I'd probably do... traditional, I guess.
Who would you like to sound like? I'll ask you that.
God, I would love to sound like Selena.
Okay, all right.
But nowhere near.
Bump.
Yeah, nowhere near.
Yeah. It's funny that she's so popular still.
Oh, yeah.
She's been gone for how long?
Yeah, it's
been 20 years or something like that?
Easy,
if not longer.
Easy.
Yeah.
I think there's a,
I think a movie came out 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
It's been a while.
Wasn't it Jennifer Lopez back in the day?
Yeah.
No, I like Selena. That's a good answer. So, all right, Rico, same question, brother. What's a talent that you wish came naturally to you?
I was going to say the same thing, singing. It's just, I thought before I used to sing like Mariah Carey.
Yeah.
But, I had a high octave voice. Yeah. I did it once or twice, and then I had to go ahead and lift notes or whatever. But, if I actually would want to say more, I would say being better at, sports.
Yeah.
Be better at sports.
Any sport in particular?
Basketball.
Basketball, man.
I love basketball, but I wish I had more skill in it for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd take more practice, but I think I can do it.
How tall are you?
I thought it was 5'10",
right.
but I think I'm 5'6", maybe 5'7", something like that. A
little shooting guard going on.
Yeah, but you know what? When I used to play basketball, I just call spider legs. I'm like, well, why are you calling spider legs? Well, play me and we'll find out.
Yeah.
So when I'd play, I couldn't shoot. I couldn't, do anything, but I'd just be that one guy who I'd shoot, and then I'd be the one rebound at the same time,
Rodman.
So they're like, what's going on? Little dude just rocking back and forth, little legs moving back and forth, and that was, I love doing that. That was my.
Did you have some vertical?
Yeah, I had some vertical back when I was a lot younger, yeah.
But we were just in Vegas, and the street performers all over the strip. We were in front of Caesars. There's this dude, man, and there's this hype man screaming, yelling, and this dude's got to be like 5'6", 5'5", somewhere around there, just ripped. They get guys my size, they line them up, 3 or 4 of them, bend over. This dude runs, does a flip like this, and lands on his feet over like 3 or 4 guys. It was nuts.
Wow.
It was absolutely nuts, man. Because Listen and I were walking. I'm like, let's check this out. Because it had a crowd, and the hype man was good. His hype man was awesome. You know what I mean? So
hyping everybody up.
Oh, he was.
He was earning his pay.
Yeah. Put some more money in there. I think that dude did well because it was.
Yeah, I bet.
This. I was shocked. I couldn't jump over one of me laying down. You see what I'm saying? That's strange something. So, and the earth would shatter. All right. Rico, we're going to stick with you, brother. Rico, what in life do you take for granted the most? This comes from Brandon Lake. And you can skip any of these you want, man.
No, I was thinking about it's like time, man. I think I take time for granted for sure.
Right.
I try to go by that whole 3, like try to balance the 3 things in life, the whole you only got time, youth, or money, and you can only pick 2. And so I try to do all right, if I'm doing time and money, I'm going to skip my youth, and then I try to change it, and you can never do 2. And I always tell my kids, we're like, Dad, whatever, there's enough time. Now at my age, I'm like, man, I just never have enough time to do things.
I have never heard that in my lifetime. Youth or money, you'll have 2.
Yeah, so you can only choose, from what I heard, is you can only do 2. You
it's true.
Chase money, you chase time, and you give up on your youth, or you go for youth and you time for you and your family is your youth, but you give up money. You know, it's vice versa. You know?
I really like that, dude. I've never heard that in my life.
Yeah. So I think right now I'm giving up my time a little
Yeah.
bit more. I'm working more, doing a little bit more things on the side. Because
Right.
I require, you know, some other stuff. So
Yeah.
I'm giving up on the family a little bit. No, not like that. But
She's like, what?
But I didn't agree to this.
now?
That's a shitty way to say it. You think
Thanks.
Larry's
Thanks
going
for
to
bringing
stop me? You think Larry's going to stop me from beating your ass on camera?
No, gosh.
There's not enough of him. There's not enough of him. Tell him that. That's great, man. I've never heard that in my life.
Yeah. Try to balance that.
That's a great answer, dude.
Yeah.
Ready? The same for you. What in life do you take for granted the most?
Stole my answer. For me, it's time.
Yeah.
Time's the biggest thing, and I see it more. When I was younger, it didn't really seem like it was that big of a deal.
Right.
But now that I see my son, especially, and like in my kids, and I see like how quickly time has passed. I'm like, wait,
Right.
what? Like,
Right.
when did that happen? Like,
Right.
I thought I had more time before you were gonna like move out of my house, and now I'm like,
Right.
what? How do I stop this? Like,
don't. You
I'm not
don't.
ready for my little
Don't
boy to,
stop time.
you
Right.
know.
It sucks, man.
It's crazy though.
How old is he now?
He's 14,
Right.
but like in my brain, I see him 14. I'm like, wait, weren't you just like 7?
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
what do you mean I have 4 years and then you're gonna graduate? Like that doesn't. It doesn't seem like it's been that long, but it
Right.
has. It's.
It flies by.
It does.
Do you remember how long it took to get from kindergarten to your senior year in high school?
It
Do you-
seemed like it's like forever.
Forever. It seemed like a lifetime on its own.
Yeah.
You know, it seemed like a lifetime to get from, when do you start? Late August to
Yeah.
May of the next
Yeah.
year. You thought, man, this is taking forever. You know what I mean? And now it'll happen.
It's instantaneous.
Yeah, it's like it's
Yeah.
already here.
Yeah.
It's crazy, man. And you own your own business too, so that makes it double tough to.
Yeah.
to
It makes working out like different schedules
Right.
that much harder.
Right. Right.
So it's crazy, but I mean, I've ever since like my kids were older or younger, I guess, I always told myself like my kids always come first in my schedule. So like
Yeah,
anytime they
right.
have like an event or something, that's automatically in the calendar because
Right.
I'm like, you know what? Once they're out of the house and you know they're gone, I can work as much as I want.
Right.
But right now that I can and I have the flexibility to, like they're being there for like all their events and stuff like that is like priority.
Right.
And then work, money, all that comes after.
That's awesome. So you only have one kid?
2.
2. Okay.
Yeah, my daughter's 12.
12. So yeah, 6 more years and you're empty nesters. You're empty
It's not
nesters.
much- It's
That's
It's time to run now.
yeah.
seems crazy though.
Yeah.
That's tough. No kids here, so it's
Oh, you'll get there.
yeah, no, no, I won't. No, I won't. Watch your mouth, Rico. Watch your mouth.
Next time we talk to him, so
In the next
Rico
stream,
cursed
he
me.
was right.
My mom's doing this. She used to tell me like my 30s. She's like, "I'd like to have a grandchild." I said, "I'm not good at this, Mom. You get the hooker. I'll do my part." That's all I can tell you. At this point, this is the option we have, Mom. And she's like, "I hate when you say that." I'm like, "Well, whatever. I hate when you give me shit about this." So that's how it rolls in the Lundstrom family. So, but she didn't want to put out for a hooker. So guess what? No grandkids, Mom. That's on you.
I tried.
Your son's ugly. What are you going to do? So, Adriana, we're going to stick with you. Adriana, this will be interesting for you. What's the one thing about your job that you wish more people understood? Now, what do you do for a living?
So I sell real estate.
Okay.
Probably the biggest thing that I wish people understood, the high anxiety level that I deal
Right.
with all the time.
Right.
You know, because you hear it all the time. I don't get paid unless people actually successfully sell the house. So
Right.
I am constantly, you know, on edge realistically of, you know, depending on different deals that going on. I mean, I'm ultimately responsible for the transaction. So
Right.
I mean, yes, people are supposed to do their certain things, but I feel like it falls on me like, okay, you need to make sure that this deadline is met and this deadline is met, or
Right.
negotiate different things, or,
Right.
you know, you have to be out by this time. I have to make sure that you're out by that time, and, you know, make sure I'm helping everybody stay on track. So I deal with a lot of anxiety.
I can imagine. Mom just sold her house not too long ago. And the realtor is her friend, but she would call us like and apologize. Like, I'm so sorry this is happening. We're like, it's not your fault, right? But I mean, she felt like she had to be in control of everything,
Yeah.
and it's hard to when you're dealing with another entity, right? Like
It's so
essentially another realtor who's trying to, you know what I mean, help
Yeah.
their people out more, right? So I can only imagine the stress. I was in sales a little bit at one time. And I didn't care for it at all. I don't.
Not into it?
It's
No,
it's
man.
not for
No.
me.
I might dab a little bit in the future, but
Yeah.
I don't know if I'll ever be a real estate agent.
You know what? You're gonna work for this one. That's what's gonna happen,
Yeah,
bro. You know what
yeah,
I'm saying?
yeah.
There's no more kids in the house. So
Like,
you-
hey, look, I need a day off from work. I'm gonna go
No.
home. I was like,
No, yeah.
I don't know if I could do that, dude. I love you though. But yeah,
it's on
that's-
camera. It's
Yeah.
on camera.
Right? It's
Yeah,
on
but
camera.
I could tell there's times, dude. It's like, man, it's like I need to get a massage or something.
Yeah.
Just, like,
There's
relax.
Yeah.
you can just tell there's some days that
Yeah.
I'm just like just don't like just
Right.
But it's
just leave me alone.
Right.
Just don't
She
even
does
talk
good
to me right now. I need to deal with this. Just
good.
just don't.
Support. I'll support.
There had been another realtor on this this podcast. Her answer was time. People think that you just have all the time in the world. Like they snap their fingers and you just appear.
Yeah.
Right.
I've had people call me at like 1:00 in the morning. I don't answer.
Right.
So I finally learned a while back ago to put my phone on Do Not Disturb after a certain time of day.
Right.
And I mean, I'll see the call, but I'm not going to respond at 1:00 in the morning. There's
Right.
nothing I can do at 1:00 in the morning.
Right. Right.
I mean, I think the only time I did answer at 1:00 in the morning was when it was the neighbor to call me to tell me that there was a broken pipe on the main water line, and
nice.
we needed to call Quality Water
Yeah.
to get out there to shut off the water and everything and go
Right.
assess the damage. But other than that, I mean, unless it's like an actual emergency,
Right.
I don't usually answer.
Or do they want to go look at the house at 1 a.m?
No, I mean, like, I'm not gonna go show you the house at 1:00 in the morning.
Yeah.
But people try.
There's some weird calls that she's gotten. I'm like, what?
You gotta tell them,
It's
bring a
like
flashlight and
out
some
in the
running
middle of
shoes.
Boonies. I'm like, it's like what? 9 p.m. at night.
No, you're not going out there.
No.
No, that's
No, it's-
that's how murder.
Yeah,
that's how
I was
horror
like,
stories.
no, guys. Like,
Yeah. That's how
you
unsolved
gotta have
mysteries
that-
happen.
You can't
Yeah.
be desperate for the
Yeah.
money either. You know, you gotta just
Yeah.
relax, let it go, let it go.
Yeah, yeah. If they find another realtor going to do it 1 a.m, well, I guess
Yeah.
they just wanted it more.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good
Yeah,
for you.
I don't want it that bad.
Yeah, that shit won't last long. So, all right, Rico, same question, brother. What is the most? What is one thing about your job that you wish more people understood? What do you do for a living, Rico?
So I am a drone operator for the oil field.
Okay.
I fly most of the reclamation flights. So I guess if I were to explain that, once the battery is completely done, I guess I fly, take some ortho pics from the top. I guess some people don't know, and I've bumped into other people who are just flying. They don't realize that you do need a license sometimes to fly some of the drones I've seen
really?
these people fly. I was in this one location and the landowner had a pretty massive drone, like Argus 400, and then I had another one that had another Matisse 300. It's a pretty big drone, and they're just out there flying. And I've asked them, it's like, wow, man, you must be pretty good at what you do. You fly for having a license. They're like, license? What license? I'm like, oh. My bad. I'm not one to knock them. They don't know. It's okay.
Yeah.
Just some people don't know. The rules have changed. Sometimes you do need a license to fly certain drones.
Right.
I don't even have those, and I wish I can get there one day.
But as it progresses and gets bigger, that'll become a thing for everybody.
Oh well, yeah. I think.
know.
And I'm not sure. Don't quote me on this, but I think I was on the hearing the FFA. I think one of the presidents or something. Someone was talking about FAA, talking about there'll be more drones in the air in the future. So
Yeah.
I don't know if they're talking about delivering stuff through drone or something, but giving more relaxation with drones. So I was like,
Yeah.
I mean, it's good. It's good. It's just, I think it's gonna be. Even I have sometimes struggle. I'm at home and I see a drone flying over my property. I was like,
Yeah.
well, you can where your remote, check them out. I was like, well, this
Yeah.
guy doesn't have a license, but
I
I think it'll be a future thing.
There for a while, Amazon was trying that. Remember?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
And people were shooting them out of the sky, and they had like those
Yeah.
little net guns in there. Damn
Yeah,
rednecks.
yeah. They come up with some pretty interesting.
Come on, Bill, let's go shopping. Get your net gun,
It's an Amazon package.
Let's see what our damn
Let's go
neighbors
see what we
want.
got.
That's right. That's right, man. Porch Pirates gone crazy. So,
Yeah.
all right, Rico, we're gonna stick with you, buddy. Rico, if you were giving the commencement speech at a high school, what is the one piece of life advice you'd give the kids?
Okay. If I was giving a commencement speech, I would tell them, don't take things too personally. Go out and continue to keep learning. Just because you've, finished whatever study you're going, continue to acquire more knowledge. And also, I guess I would tell them, don't get stuck on the little things, because then you stick in the past. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So learn from the mistakes you've accomplished, or the mistakes you have done, in order for you to accomplish and continue to open the path to something new.
Right.
You know, and I think I've seen this with some of my family members, you know, and they go and they study this and they think, oh, that's it, I'm making it. And then all of a sudden something happens or changes in life, and then they're like, hey, man, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
They freak the heck out. They're like, I studied for this. Like, dude, like chill, man.
Yeah.
You know, just
Yeah.
chill,
Yeah.
you know? Like, dude, let life go. Life's going to kick you in the rear. You
Right.
might not even like that in the future, you know?
Right.
You spent $80,000 on this education, then you go and you actually enjoy, I don't know, doing something else.
Yeah.
And, you know, so don't let life get you down into things. And you don't want more stress.
What do they say? Failure's the best teacher?
Failure's the best teacher,
Yeah.
you know, and just go out.
Now, here's the second part I always throw onto this question. Here's why I like this question. So obviously, Rico, you give that advice because that's something you had to learn.
Yes.
How old would you think you actually learned that or understood that?
Oh, dude, I think it took me a long time to get out of my old school mindset. A lot of people don't know, I never finished high school.
Okay.
You know, I actually got kicked out of high school. I had already had my GED, and I was there, and I think one of the teachers came by, and I'm sitting there in the library, and we just got word that you already have your GED. You know you can't be here. It's like, I didn't know that was a thing. I was just going for the gym class and weightlifting, you know, at the time. But, you know, that was my story. I wasn't ashamed of it, you know.
Right.
I was actually okay with that. And I went out and I did my own thing, and I'm actually quite proud of where I'm at.
Yeah.
You know, it just because you don't have an education, you're doing it. You know, I didn't get the doctorate or whatever. Okay, great. For those who have it, fantastic.
Right.
But that.
Would you want it?
Not really. I don't know. I don't really have the opinion. I think when I was a kid, I wanted to be a scientist a long time ago.
Yeah.
It wasn't in the cards for me. I could probably do it, because I don't want to say, oh, just because I couldn't do it, I can. I mean, look, was it the KFC guy? I mean, he didn't become a millionaire till he was, 65 or something?
60s, yep.
So I'm not. If you want to go do it, go do it. Now's
Yeah.
the time. Get it done, but don't think about it 20 years down the line. Get it done now.
Yeah.
And I think it took me, man, I think when I started learning about it and actually motivating myself to do it, I must have been hitting my early 30s.
Yeah.
31,
Yeah.
32. It took me a long time to get out of that mindset.
That's why I like that question so
Yeah.
much, because it does. People are telling me what they had to learn the hard way. So
Yeah.
there's been a lot of great ones. So Adriana, we're going to stick with you. Adriana, if you were giving the commencement speech at a high school, what is the one piece of life advice you'd give the kids?
Probably to not let themselves get, I guess similarly, but not get themselves put into a box of what you're supposed to be doing based on what people your whole life have told you you're supposed to be doing. Like those because realistically, even those placement tests, they tell you things based on what you're doing now. But that's going to change throughout your whole life.
Right.
Like what you like in high school might not be what you like 5 years from now, 10 years from now. But I feel like, unfortunately, because of the way the education system is, like you get like put in this box of these are the, you know, ag kids, these are the business kids, and kids think that that's because that's the path that they have in high school, that's the path they have to follow for the rest of their lives.
Right.
And a lot of times, unfortunately, it's based on, you know, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. This is what my parents expect me to do. This is what society expects me to do. And then they end up going into a career, spending 4 years in college, and go to work, and they're miserable in their jobs. So not let themselves get stuck in a box and worry more about, especially when you're young, doing things and experimenting with different jobs that you like just because you like them.
Yeah.
Like worry more about whether or not you enjoy going to work and less about how much money you're making.
Right. That's great advice.
That's why I love this, you know, because she is also one of the biggest like pillars in my,
Right.
Hearing her mindset compared to my mind is just fantastic. I love that.
So I'll ask you the same question. How old are you when you learned that lesson?
Mid-20s.
Yeah.
Mid-20s-ish, somewhere around there.
Right. That's why I love that question, because it is. It's and I've heard some amazing advice on this podcast with that question.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If to go back and tell these kids who won't listen to you, by the way, if I made like a little clip of all the advice and played it at the VHS, they'll be like, oh my God, the beer's getting cold in the back of my truck. Yeah. They're getting warm, you know what I mean? Let's move this along, you know? But you learn lessons the hard way.
It takes time.
Sometimes you just have to learn it. Like some things you just have to learn on your own.
Yeah.
And everybody will. Everybody will. If they miss it, they miss the boat. It's going to take them longer. It's not over. It's just going to take you to 40s or something.
Right.
50s if it doesn't.
I'm a learn the hard way guy myself. That's been my curse in life, but it's turned out okay. So
yes.
All right, Adriana, we're going to stick with you. Adriana, what is the most awkward conversation you've had with your parents? This comes from Jacob Norris, by the way.
Oh God, probably the most awkward conversation was when I told them I guess when Rico came over to the house and proposed, and I said yes, because after him and his family left, my dad sat me down and he's like, so I didn't expect you to say yes so quickly. I expected you to tell him, oh, I don't know. Let's maybe think about it, and then me and you can have a conversation. And in my head, I was like, well, you were trying to talk me out of it. You wanted me to say no so that you could have a conversation with me and convince me to say no.
Right.
It wasn't that, you didn't want me to get married. You didn't want me to get married at all.
Right. That's hilarious.
It was one of those. I think that's probably the biggest one because, I was like 19.
Right.
So... no, I'm trying to think. No, I was 18 when we got engaged. Yeah, I was 18 when we got engaged. So,
Right.
And at the time I was working, I was living at home. So, of course, in the Hispanic culture, I was helping contribute to the household.
Right.
And I think in a certain aspect, you knew if she gets married and leaves, the money train's going to go too. And he wasn't quite ready to let that go. So...
That's interesting.
So that was probably a pretty awkward one.
Hey Rico, you owe me $50 this month. $50, Rico.
Yeah, dude, that was
gotta still pay your tithe.
That's great. Is your dad still around?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Do you guys joke around about it?
To be completely honest, I haven't spoken to my dad in about 10 years.
Oh, sorry.
No, you're fine.
Right.
You're good.
I was gonna say
That's
before
the reality.
No, you're good. I'm okay with that.
How long you guys been married?
About 17.
18 years?
Oh wow. Nice.
I was close.
You're close.
I was close.
Yeah.
I was close.
Yes.
I keep telling people 20 just to round up. I can't miss. If I just say 20, I can't miss.
Let's move on. Rico, what is the most awkward conversation you've had with your parents?
Oh man, I guess awkward. It was weird. It wasn't. I wouldn't say awkward. The first time I smoked weed for the first time. I just didn't know what it was all about.
Yeah.
I went out. It was like 3 a.m. by the time I got back, and my parents were trying to pretend to educate me. But I was kind of like the lone wolf of the family.
Yeah.
Oh, you're smoking weed. They're bad. I'm like, all right. Well, what do you want to do about it?
Yeah.
And I was respectful. I wasn't confrontational. I just listened to my father. I respect my father and I respect my mother.
When he was telling you this, were you high?
I don't
It was
know.
probably coming off of it.
Maybe coming off. I was mellow, I guess. Yeah. And they're like, "Well, I need you to leave." And I'm like, "Okay." And I just grabbed my stuff and packed it casually, and I was like, "All right." And by then I already had a job. I had a car. So I was like, "All right, I'll just go somewhere. I'll have money so I can go." And then when they realized I was doing it, they're like, "Oh, we're just kidding. Don't worry about it. We're just messing around." I was like, "Could I go upstairs and sleep?" I'm like, "Yeah, go ahead." But you know what it was? I think after that, I never once wanted to do weed again. Yeah. Ever. It was just, there was no, I didn't have no thing for it. I was like,
right.
I didn't get used to it. I didn't like the feeling of that. So I think that was maybe the most awkward thing. I don't really have awkward.
I was a pot smoker for about a month in my life
Were
when
you?
I was 19. And I just didn't get it.
No.
It wasn't for me, man.
It wasn't for me either.
Yeah.
No. I think I must have been, I think I was working at 17 or something.
Yeah, it makes me horny and crave milk, so that's a horrible start.
Goat.
I'm just, what kind of drug is this, I said. I don't know.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
All right. Rico, we're going to stick with you, buddy. Rico, if you were on death row, what would your last meal be?
Oh. If I was on death row, what would my last meal be?
Yeah.
Wow. I would love to have a porterhouse steak. I think I would love a porterhouse steak. I don't like the potatoes. I think I would stick with the portobello mushroom sauce, you know, with some nice asparagus on the side, you know, and for my side, like a postre, you know, a dessert, I want to have a nice vanilla peach, you know, either sundae or like with the cobbler, you know, like, dude, I would, it's like, hey man, I'm ready, take me out, you know what I mean? I'm ready. Yeah.
Let's get the injection going.
Yeah, this is, I just, porterhouse I think is the best.
Right.
I think I'm a big porterhouse guy. Yeah,
That's
for
cool.
sure. Yeah.
You said not the potatoes. Like, you don't have to sweat the carbs, bro.
No,
It's-
yeah. Even here, I don't need the carbs.
They're about to dead your ass. So,
Yeah, I think I would do that. Yeah.
Adriana, we're gonna go to you. Adriana, if you were on death row, what would your last meal be?
So, probably my grandma's traditional Mexican mole
Okay.
with some Spanish rice and some like arroz con leche.
Okay.
That's like always been like my favorite like comfort food meal. But I feel like for the cooks, like on a darker, I guess, thing, like the mole has like 20 ingredients to make it like traditionally, and it takes like forever to like do all those ingredients, and there's like different steps, so it would almost be like punishment for the cook that has to like make it, because they have to make it the way that it's supposed to be. And like, I'm dying, but you're also getting tortured at the same time.
Yeah.
You know? That's probably my ultimate comfort.
Although on death row, they probably like you're getting your steak,
getting
but it's gonna be like a $3 steak, wherever they get from the grocery store. You know what I'm saying?
Well, just get me like the can.
Could be imitation meat or something.
That's what it'll be, like super burned bologna. That's
Yeah.
tougher than shit. Yeah, that's always laughed about. So, all right, Adriana, we're gonna stick with you. Adriana, what's the last thing that reminds you that you're getting older?
Oh boy.
This one's been fun.
Oh God, the last thing that reminded me of getting older. So my knees, like most of the time they're fine, but once in a while I'll like walk a certain way or like turn a certain way, and like I kind of feel like this pop, and they have to like pause. And I'm like, wait. You take a second and like make sure I didn't pull something and my ankle's not broken or something.
Right.
So it's or you have to like get up super slow, like just make sure nothing pops that's not supposed to pop.
Right. You just bring chicken in my book, though. I'll be 50 in July, so trust me, I know. So far, my favorite answer has been when you're driving, you turn the radio down.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So you can concentrate.
Dude, I do it all the time.
Really?
Yeah,
I didn't know that was a thing.
I do it all the time.
Yeah.
I do it when I'm driving with my kids, especially.
So you can concentrate?
Yeah. So one of the times I went to go get you at the airport, like they were talking to me, and then they had the music on, and I was like, okay, shh.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me figure out where I need to go. I need you guys to stay absolutely quiet. So I can like read the right sign, so I can go pick up your dad from the airport.
I don't even have that excuse, Adriana. Like I'm pulling into a dairy where I'm the only dude on the road. I'll turn it down, and so that's. Well, I shouldn't have said it for 8 years. So, Rico, what is the last thing that reminds you're getting older?
All right, I know two things. I freaked out one day and started crying. I got because I thought, I was like, oh my God, I need to buy a new car. My life's going me by. Like I had anxiety, you know. I told my wife I was going through a midlife crisis or something. And that one, I was like, I'm getting old. And then the second one was normal day, just got out of bed. Just got up and got out of bed, and I pulled my back. So I was like, how's that happen? And I was just sitting there, and I sit down, and I'm just, how? And like, there's no rational explanation to how I pulled my back. Just getting out of bed. And I told my wife, we got to switch our beds. That's what it is. It wasn't, I'm getting old. It's the bed. The bed. Yeah. So I think after that, I was like, okay, maybe I'll start thinking things a little bit more. It's like, do I have to start already, like, buying a wheelchair? But I think that was mine right now.
I love the answers on this one, but me too. I just bought a new mattress 6 months ago. It's super soft. So I thought my old one I'd had forever. It's like a prison mattress, and I'm like, you got this. You got to change this shit. But the other day I woke up, my back was like crippled.
It was like
like get out, I'm like, oh. oh God.
What did I do?
Oh God, yeah,
What?
yeah, exactly right. And that's hilarious.
Yeah.
But then I go to work and I walk around a little bit and I start feeling better. So that's like, it's probably your mattress. And I'm like, I paid good money for that mattress. So,
Yeah.
you know,
Better
no,
not be my
it's not my mattress. My back is going to learn to love that mattress. You know?
Yeah.
Because I'm past the 90 days or whatever it is to swap that bitch
Right.
out. So, you
Right.
know what?
Yeah.
We're just gonna.
That's what I
it's
told
fine.
her. I was like, it has to be the mattress.
Yeah.
I'm not possibly getting old. I'm gonna get old when I'm 40. I think.
Right.
I think. Yeah.
Dana Gilbert on here. Gilbert's was awesome too. Where if there's something on the top shelf, he's like, shit.
No.
He goes to grab it. He's, oh God.
Yeah.
Because Dana's not going to grab it. She's 5'2". So, All right. Rico, we're going to stick with you, buddy. Rico, what is something you had to fight hard for in life?
Oh man. So okay. So before my name was Rico. Well, I don't know if I should say this one. They're like, okay.
If you're in the witness protection program, I can't protect you. Just so you know.
Yeah, it was probably being identified.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like in school, and even now, like I try to be secluded, but when I was in school, I was very quiet, very mellow. No one knew who I was,
Right.
And I think it was one time that changed it. And I was at 8th grade grad, and one of the guys there, he was pretty popular in school at the time. I don't want to say his name or anything, but they were dancing and stuff, and I just knew how to dance good, pop lock. At the time I liked being a b-boy, and no one knew who I was. I just jumped in the middle. Everyone was like, "Who the hell is this kid?" And totally killed it, smoked it. I got someone got mad because I beat him, and the next day in school, all of a sudden I was getting people say, "Oh, dude, that's Ishmael's brother. That's Ishmael's brother," and that's usually what I was referred to. It was like, "Oh, that's Ishmael's," and then that's when I actually, the first day I got into high school, when the teacher responded to me and saying, "Hey, is Ricardo here?" And I got up and I'm like, "From this moment forward, everyone's gonna call me Rico. No ands, ifs, or buts.
Right.
Someone's got a problem, we can talk outside."
Yeah.
And they're like, I'm like, what the hell? But then it wasn't until the moment that I stepped in and I said something like, I need to feel better about myself to, like, hey,
Yeah.
and ever since then, I think I've gotten it, but then I was like, well, now it doesn't really bother me as much. But
Right.
I think I struggled for the first part of my life trying to, like, be recognized.
Right.
And it took me a while. It just took talent and it took time, but I didn't let it affect me to the point. It's just kind of.
Yeah.
But that's just my own personal.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool, man.
Yeah.
Adriana, same question. Adriana, what is something you had to sorry, excuse me. What is something you had to fight for hard in life?
So I'm gonna get deep with you. Probably. Well, that's the thing that I had to fight hard for. Probably overcoming past trauma.
Okay.
I think was probably the biggest one, because it took me a few years to realize that a lot of my behavior was because of trauma, and then I had to go through like therapy and like dealing with and identifying like all of the behavior traits and things that I had that were as a result of like trauma. And then I had to work to, okay, so that's a trauma, this is because of this, and then learn, I guess, habits or coping mechanisms or whatever you want to call it to overcome that, so
Right.
that I wasn't raising kids that had trauma.
Right.
It's
Okay.
probably the hardest thing.
Right. That's a tough thing, though, man. Trauma's
Yeah.
a tricky beast, It's
Hell
a tricky
yeah, man.
beast. I mean, some people never beat it.
Yeah.
Some people struggle with it their whole lives, Depending on what trauma. I don't want to know what it was, but I'm just saying this. Yeah. But I'm just saying, like, some people
Yeah.
never quite beat that.
No,
so.
and, for those who don't, keep going, man. Keep going.
Yeah.
Don't give up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's okay not to be okay, man.
It's
So,
okay not to be okay.
Yep, absolutely. So
We listen. And we don't judge. I know.
this next one has been fun. It's been fun. So I expect this one to be the one that's going to get the most.
Okay.
play. So, Adriana, we're going to stick with you. Adriana, what is a conspiracy theory that you think is absolutely unbelievable, as in you think it's bullshit? This is from Jacob Norris, by the way.
Probably the most popular one that I still kind of question. I mean, yeah, there's evidence, but there's like, it can be logical in a way too. The most recent one of the the future fortune teller or whatever his name is, the time traveler. There's like apparently some guy or something like that. There's a couple of them, but there's one in particular that there's some time traveler that claims to have traveled back from the future, and he's predicted all of these things. And I'm like, okay, like there's no really. Anybody can make that stuff up, and you can, like, unless you said it before, like years before that happened, like you could just be really good at guessing. Like, history has a way of repeating itself, so it's. I don't necessarily believe that you can do that. Yeah. And then there's what is the other one? There's like an alien or what? You told me something about him.
Here we go.
Well, he's like my big conspiracy guy. He'll call me like sometimes on a weekly basis. Oh my God, did you hear what was going to happen? Like we need to prep. Like we need to go get water. Like we got to get ready. Yeah. I'm like, dude, nothing's going to happen. It's literally fine. Like they've been saying that the world's going to end and this is going to happen for the last 30 years. Right. It hasn't happened yet. When it happens, and we'll deal with it. It's fine. Yeah. I'll just wake up one day. There'll be an alien above my head. It's fine.
We'll wake up, eat the neighbors, take their water. It's fine. It's no big deal.
Fine. I'm not worried about it. Yeah. But that's probably the one that I think is kind of like BS. I'm like, okay, I don't believe you.
That tells the future. And 9 times out of 10, they're very vague with their predictions. Yeah. So it's very how you take it and how you apply it, right?
Yeah, so, like there's so many. Like you can, if you look hard enough, like you can find, this relates to this, and then this number meets this. I'm like, if you dig hard enough, you can find, conspiracy in anything. Like
and psychology. I mean, if you know how the human brain works, it's easy to fool people at times. Not the same thing. Like I just got back from Vegas. We went to a magic show.
Okay.
Matt Franco. Have you heard of him? Mm-mm. I hadn't heard of this dude. We just picked a show and went. It was incredible. Mm-hmm. I know it's not magic being used on that stage.
Right.
I know that. But I'll be damned if I know what it is.
Job of tricking your mind.
That's right. See what I'm saying? So people, Rico. By the way, Matt Franco, if you go to Vegas, go check out that show.
Okay.
Right? There's a few times I was like, I looked at Lisette and I was like, how the fuck did he do that? Like, that's. Yeah. But the point is, they know how to get to you. They know what I'm saying. So it's they know how you work. So all right. Sounds like Rico, you're gonna be the fun one to ask this question. Rico, what is a conspiracy theory that you think is absolutely unbelievable? Which one do you think is bullshit?
Okay, bullshit. Honestly, dude, I don't think. As of right now, I believe everything is real. I mean, just a few years ago, we didn't believe aliens were real. Now they're saying they're real. So I was like, it's like so now aliens, unicorns, vampires are real. At this point, I can't just say that they're not. Yeah. The one that's been bugging me right now is the whole flat Earth theory. Okay. Been going into that one deep, and then so I've been doing that one, and then I've been doing the Pope. He died, and I've been keeping up with that, and the prediction of all the popes, and after this Pope has died, it's the end of the world. So that one's the one I'm kind of.
Wait, isn't it like an Antichrist thing with the next Pope or one of the popes?
It's kind of something like that. So I don't know yet much, but I've been slowly dipping my legs into that one a little bit and trying to figure what's going on with that. And it just drives me nuts that a lot of the things they say is real and they're not real. It's just I really truly want to believe they're just coincidences.
Right. And for me, it's a thing of I ask myself, who benefits from the lie? Yeah. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Someone's got to benefit from the lie to be made in the first place. Like, do you believe in the flat Earth or the round Earth?
I still believe in the round Earth. Okay. It's just like little things like where it says, well, and I'm not well versed in the Bible by all means, but parts where they say, the angels of the four corners and stuff. Yeah. It's like, well, there's no corners on Earth; it's round. So that opened my eyes, and what I believe is I believe in both parties, and I want to learn from both, and I don't negate anybody's beliefs. I want to learn both, and I'm actually quite curious on both. Yeah, that's I make my own observations.
That's healthy, though. I like that. You're open-minded. That's okay. Yeah. For me, I'd ask myself, for flat earthers, I'd ask, like, who benefits from it not being round? Like, why would they lie about it? I guess, you know what I mean? Like, I can understand most conspiracy theories, like how, who would lie because they benefit from it? You know what I mean? To get you to believe this. Correct. Someone benefits from it. Paper trail kind of thing. So that's been a fun one. Tyler last week said, It should be which one is unbelievable and which one do you believe in the most. So maybe we'll come to that one later. So yeah, that could be interesting. So all right, Rico, this one's we'll stick with you. Rico, who is the most unlikable villain in movie history, or the biggest baddest villain in your opinion?
The biggest baddest villain?
Who's the baddest villain in movie history?
I don't know, dude.
Who's the villain that you were like, damn,
that guy's just evil?
that bad's evil as shit?
If I wasn't ready for this one. I don't know. I'm a big superhero guy and stuff, but I guess if I have to say, I think it'd be. He's more of an anti-hero, but I forgot what his name is. He's a wolf character. He's a badass biker dude, wolf character, and he's just. I think you know who I'm talking about.
Yeah,
it's not.
Red eyes, black hair.
Yeah, and
chains.
He's just.
Lobo,
dude.
Yeah,
I love that guy.
Yeah.
But he's kind of a, like, I'll do what I want. There's nothing you can do about it. And
Yeah.
I believe Lobo is, I don't know. They say he's an anti-hero and everything, but I think that guy's just.
He doesn't do good ever, right?
No,
So I mean, yeah,
no.
it's
Yeah, I think
Lobo. It's a good
Lobo.
answer.
I like Lobo.
That's a deep cut right there.
Yeah,
I haven't had that one
Lobo's
yet.
a tough motherfucker.
Yeah, last week's was one I didn't think about saying when I asked after asking Adriana. Adriana, who is the most unlikable villain in movie history, or the biggest baddest?
Oh God. What kind of movie though? Like, are we thinking like
Anything could be
Anything.
any
Marvel, could be
superhero?
just-
Or are we thinking
Anything.
like
The
documentary? Like,
the
or-
bad guy in a movie.
oh God. So I mean, my mind immediately goes to Adolf Hitler and Schindler's List.
Okay.
Like, you can't get much worse than trying to kill like an entire like
Race.
population.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
That's pretty bad.
Yeah. Last week, the answer that made me laugh was Cruella de Vil. Because she wants to make a coat out of
Wanted
puppies.
to kill all the
Yeah.
puppies.
Yeah, Cruella
Those
de
poor
Vil.
puppies.
That's pretty
You
evil.
You know who I thought was pretty fucked up was Mr. Manhattan at one point.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Mr. Manhattan decided,
The
I'll just
Watchmen.
erase everybody, erase myself.
Yeah.
And he can, and he doesn't hesitate about it. And just to have that level of power, I was like, man, dude,
Well-
he'll even kill himself with the rest of it. I was like, dude, like that's just
He becomes so enlightened that he doesn't.
Yeah.
We're like ants to him. So,
yeah. And it just my mind doesn't fathom that reality. It's
Right.
like, wow, that's pretty shitty.
My answer to that was Darth Vader.
Darth Vader.
Oh, Darth
Because he's,
Vader's pretty bad.
he's everybody knows who Darth
pretty
Vader
bad.
is. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
he's
Yeah.
kills off people right and left. But it's I'm a big Star Wars guy, so
I
my nerd is deep on that one. So
feel bad because I was glad it wasn't a Star Wars question at all because
Yeah.
I've never watched Star Wars.
oh really?
Yeah, dude. So I
Oh,
was like, I'm
Rico,
so glad
for
that-
shame,
I know,
for shame.
I know. Sorry, guys.
Very good. All right, Rico, we're gonna stick with you. Rico, what's a movie everyone loves that you can't stand?
The Notebook. Great film. I watched it one time with Adriana when we were young. I don't watch romantic comedy or not comedy, but romantic movies. At that
Right.
time I didn't watch that. Dude, what is up with the girl in that movie? She gives him wings, she teases the guy, and then makes him fall in love, builds a house for her, and then I get it. He falls in love at the end and everything, but at what cost? It's like I do not like that woman. And a great actress, fantastic job, fantastic film. I just don't like the way it ended. It was
Right.
It's almost like the guy still gets shitted on at the end. It's,
Yeah.
He never got to live the life he truly wanted. And it's marvelous. The movie was fantastic. I just don't like that film.
Yeah.
And because I was sitting there watching this and I was getting passionate, like, yes, this is what I want. This is what every man wants. A good, happy life.
Yeah.
And then it's like, well, I forgot who you are.
Oh,
Fuck, dude. I'm like, damn, that sucks. Okay.
yeah.
But
That's a good answer.
It's a
'cause
great.
The
I
Notebook
just-
is well loved.
Yeah, it's a well-loved movie. I don't think.
Who's the actress? Rachel McAdams and
I think so. I forget the guy's name.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't care about him.
I watched it once too. I was like, well, that's enough of that. So that's not on the rewatch list at all. So yeah.
Yeah.
My answer to that, well, I'll tell you as soon as she answers. So Adriana, what was a movie that everyone loves that you can't stand?
You're gonna be mad at me for this one. I don't like the Star Wars movies. I have tried. Like my nephew is a big fan. My sister's a big fan. They've told me. Apparently, there's a specific order that you're supposed to watch them, and they're supposed to be really good. Every time I've tried, I've fallen asleep. So I
fair.
stopped trying. I'm like,
It's fair.
this is confusing. I don't get it. It's
Yeah. Yeah, I get
whatever.
it.
I'm
I get
not
it.
gonna try.
You're not the first person to answer that one though. Like that. It's funny.
It's
Like guys always answer like Steel Magnolias or The Notebook, and then a lot of the girls have been like, there was the ones that's Caddyshack, and I was like, get out, get out. You know, there's been a bunch of answers. I was like, how do you not like that movie? But mine is Napoleon Dynamite. Oh, I hate it.
You don't like Napoleon?
I hate Napoleon Dynamite. Oh, but I hate it so much. The point where he has that steak or whatever, and he throws it and hits him in the face. The only part I laughed at. The rest of the movie's painful.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The set loves it, so she's like, let's watch that movie. And I'm like,
do I have to?
yeah. If I don't pay attention to the whole thing, she's like, we need to rewatch it now. I'm like, you know what? Maybe I just need to be single. Kidding. So, all right. Last questions. This one was by Matt Gordon. This is the last episode this will appear on. So, Adriana, will stick with you. Adriana, how would you explain color to a blind person?
Oh God.
This one has kicked everybody's ass so far.
Everybody's ass, man.
I would probably try to associate it with like different textures.
Right.
Like maybe like the brighter colors are more like, rocky, textury.
Right.
And then like, white and black is kind of more like smooth. Like your medium colors are like more curvy. I guess that's kind of what comes to mind.
Right. It's tough. It's a tough answer.
Yeah.
I've had a few pretty close ones, and I'm like, I don't know about that, but it's pretty good. And Rico, your turn.
Okay.
Rico, how would you explain color to a blind person?
Okay, so I thought about this one. The only way I would do it is I can't explain color to a blind person. I'd have to have them feel color, and that's tricky. So I was starting to think about blue, like how would I explain the color blue to a blind person? So what I thought was, maybe sticking their hand in the water a little bit, having them feel what water feels like.
Yeah.
Then blowing air, explaining what the coolness of the air, the breeze.
Right.
And just kind of, I can't explain the color, but maybe the feeling of calmness, the feeling of peacefulness could give them some sort of vivid imagination of, maybe this is blue.
Yeah.
Fire or red, I would go with fire. Stick their hands, or like blind man.
Let's stick a blind man's hand in the fire.
Hold it there, bro. Let me know what you feel. Anger.
One less sense.
Anger,
fine,
regret. Maybe yellow. Get them hot. I don't know. Not get them hot. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah. No, I wouldn't. But I would go with a feeling sensatory to try to somehow explain that to them.
That's a popular answer. Yeah.
Yeah. It'd be the only way I could explain it to them. And just tell them, it's blue.
Yeah.
Why don't you know what blue is?
Yeah. Well, Matt brought that one. This is the last episode it appears on, but I was like, wow, that's a tough one.
That's a tough one, man.
Mine was taste. Through food, you know what I mean? Like, yeah. But the one I think I like the best is William Cubic said through emotion.
Okay.
Anger is red.
Anger's
Blue is sad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yellow is scared.
Yeah.
I for some reason he said
Something
that.
like that,
Yeah, because everybody knows emotion.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
most people. Some people are robots, but but I thought that was about the best one. It's been a thinker. It's tough. It's tough.
Yeah, that's
It's a tough one for sure.
What do you guys think about the questions?
good.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were good. They were complicated.
Yeah.
Some of them were.
Make you think.
So I got to ask a question. Let's talk a little bit about your business.
Okay.
What's it called?
Best Life Realty.
And you're here located here in Brush.
Yes.
Adriana, for a realtor, before I buy a house, what do I got to do? What's the best way to go about it?
Probably first thing is meet with the realtor.
Okay.
Next step, get with a mortgage person, mainly so you know what you can afford,
Okay.
how much you can afford. Biggest thing I see that, especially with the way things happen the last couple of years, is people are buying homes that are at the very top of their budget
Right.
and don't take into account that taxes and insurance are going to go up.
Yeah.
So when taxes and insurance go up the next year, if that house was already at the top of their budget, it's out of reach for them.
Right.
So that's always a big one for sure. And I mean, you don't want to shop for a house that you don't even know if you can afford or not, because then
Right.
it's like a letdown.
Right. But it's tough because people want the nicest house possible, right?
Yeah.
So
I
it's,
mean, yeah.
Who doesn't?
yeah,
Yeah.
of course.
I've been wanting another house too.
Yeah.
It's
But,
hard out there.
you know,
Slim pickings.
Yeah, it's tough. That's a great snag. What's the other big snag that gets people in the realty when they're buying a house?
so probably the other biggest thing is sometimes I find people right alongside with the price thing, I guess. Sometimes people have unrealistic expectations of what kind of house they're going to get for a certain price.
Right.
I mean, I call it, for lack of a better term, champagne taste with beer pocketbook.
Right, right,
Everybody wants the house that's move-in ready. It's perfect. Nothing to do but move in.
right. Never
But
the
if your
case.
budget's only 150,
Right.
170, that's not necessarily a realistic expectation. You're going to have to buy, I mean, it's going to more than likely be an older house. It's going
Right.
to be a house that has a couple of problems here and there that you're going to fix. It's super hard to find something that's, especially in the lower price ranges, that isn't going to have something wrong with it. So
Right.
that's probably the other biggest thing is sometimes people want move-in ready, but can't afford move-in ready.
Right, right. If I'm going to sell a house, what's the biggest thing I have to look for in selling a house?
Pricing it right.
Okay.
You know, and when I say pricing it right, I mean pricing it with what the most recent sales are, without taking into account maybe what your neighbor's house sold across the street for, because what that's going to completely fluctuate based on the time of year that you're selling and based on what the market's doing. Like
Right.
people 2 years ago may have sold their house for more than what people are buying them for now, and they probably got 5-10 offers,
Right.
you know, 24, 48 hours afterwards. But it was a completely different market when it comes to prices, demand, inventory, interest rates 2 years ago than what it is now. I mean, interest rates went from 2.5%, 3% to like 7%,
Right.
which almost doubles your mortgage payment
Right.
just from the interest alone. So yeah, it might be the same size house, same everything, but the demand for your house now isn't the same thing as what the demand was 2 years from now.
So the best bet is just basically the realtor you discuss, or to let them tell you to sell for, right?
Yeah.
Just to let them.
I mean, we usually most realtors do a really good job of, you know, knowing what the market's doing, knowing how much that house is selling for, and that's what you want to pay attention to. Like the ones that are, you know, doing it every day, not, you know, the online valuation websites or so and so's experience, because I mean they don't know really
Well, that's
necessarily
a
what's going on or
Right.
what the market's doing or what actually people want for.
Right. Is there one more piece of advice you'd give to anybody trying to buy a house? I didn't prep her for this, by the
No.
way, at all. So I just threw this upon her. So
So probably the biggest thing is, well, I guess probably two things. Thing number one, don't fall in love with the house until closing day.
okay.
Because what ends up happening is when people fall in love with the house too soon, they end up sometimes overlooking things or get really heartbroken if something doesn't happen. The loan falls through, appraisal falls through, and by then it screws you up for your next deals.
Right.
So that's probably one big piece of advice. The other one is, like I said, don't ever buy a house at the very top of your budget.
Okay.
Buy a house at least 10% under your budget, so you leave yourself room for if you lose your job and your next job doesn't pay as much, taxes, insurance goes up,
Right.
all of those things. Because I mean, you also don't know what the market's going to do in a couple of years.
Right.
So you want to be able to owe less on your house than what it's worth, so that if you lose your job and you have to sell your house a year from now, 2 years from now, you're not upside down on it.
Right. I bought a house in 2006, and I didn't realize any of this stuff. I listened to my mom's best friend was a realtor. She can help me out buy it. So this is whatever she told me. I just thought this is the payment I'm going to make for the next 30 years.
Yeah.
That's what I believe.
That's what I thought, man.
Well, and that's what people think, but it's principal and interest that stays
Right.
the same. Your taxes and insurance goes up.
Yeah, yeah. I didn't realize that at all. And I kept saying, like, why am I paying more money now? Like, this was
Yeah.
like, It was like $900 at one time, and I was like, $165. What's happening right now? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I think I'm getting fucked. Turns out, no, you're just an idiot, Larry. So I didn't.
I'm like, sorry, Larry.
But I didn't realize that. And then
Yeah.
Mom's
Yeah.
like, dude, your taxes. What are your taxes? Like, it's all in escrow. I don't know.
They just pay it.
Yeah, just pay it. Yeah, they throw out a check for me. I don't know, you know. But that's awesome. Where are you located, Adriana?
216 and a half Clayton Street.
Okay, and it's called.
Best Life Realty.
And your phone number?
970-370-9804.
What's the best way to get a hold of you?
Just give me a call.
Yeah.
Call, text. I usually answer within daytime hours.
Right.
I usually am pretty easy to get a hold of.
If you call at 1 in the morning, she won't answer. She's not going to be breaking into a house to go check it out. You don't want to check out the house through a flashlight anyway, right? So
No. Probably miss all the cracks on the
That's right.
outside.
That's
Damage
right.
sighting anyways. So
yeah, it's tough. It's tough, man. So, guys, I want to thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having us out
Thanks
here.
for having us.
If you, look at the bullhucker. Look at what episode you guys were, but definitely, you both did a very good job with the bullhucker. So you were one of the first ones to do it here at the Emporium, not down here. This didn't
Oh,
exist
up there,
quite
yeah.
yet. Yeah, but yeah, you did it right in front of the Boots. Remember, we shopped for Boots for a while that night. So
We did.
yeah, yeah. Rico's got some funky ass taste in boots. I'll tell you that right now. So anyway, guys, I thank you so much for coming on.
Of course.
I almost forgot, stupid Larry. One last thing is thank you to the Brush Emporium.
Yes.
Thanks for giving me a space down here to have my podcast, to support this podcast. They've been so amazing in this town. When you don't support small business, it goes away. So make sure you come down here. They have great food down here. Do you guys ever eat down here at all?
Yeah.
Yeah, pizza, wings. They have like flatbread sandwiches now. They have a little everything: pasta, ice cream, you name it. Bring on the kids down here. They're doing bingo tonight. Every other Tuesday's bingo night, I believe. And also on the north wall, they have a bunch of old board games. So if you can bring the family down and play a little Monopoly, kick the kids' ass in Monopoly, a little Risk or whatever. So come on down here and support these guys because they support the podcast and it's really appreciated. Also, if you have liked this podcast, in the bottom right hand corner of the screen is a little red dot. That's our subscribe button. Go ahead and click that. It's a small click for you, but a huge click for the podcast. So having said that, guys, I want to thank you again,
Thank you.
and we'll catch you next time. Please. Before